Playing Warhammer 40,000, or 40K as, well, anybody with half a brain would call it. Anyways.
Hey guys, it's Shiznap. I've tried to do this video like 3 or 4 times, and you know, it's never good to do a video when you're angry. I was out looking at the new videos from my subscriptions, and I noticed Dork Toys had a video out. So I'm just going to jump right in. Here the guy's telling you about the 4th edition starter set, the Battle for McCrack. He very accurately describes what's in the box, tells you about that, which I thought, you know, hey, let's see where this guy's going with this, you know. Maybe he's got some really great deal for beginners who, you know, maybe can't afford it otherwise. So he tells you that, you know, glue is not included. Well, Dork Toys, the models are snap fit in that set, if I recall correctly. If I'm wrong, you guys let me know. I'm pretty sure they're snap fit, so they don't need glue. Glue is great if you want to add it. Brushes. He says, oh, you get a big honking brush. He grabs that figure, in my opinion, to show that he's talking to people who are not familiar with the hobby, right? I mean, that's obviously directed at a beginner. The brushes, they're a good idea, but if you don't really know what you're doing, are you going to know to use a detail brush? Are you going to know to use a large brush or a flat brush or what have you? Here he's talking about foundation paints as a primer. I have a problem with that. Foundation paints are great if you want to go over a primer and do it in just one coat. Other than that, they're not going to offer a whole lot more support for paint. I mean, paint is going to come off the model. You really need to prime. Anyway, here is probably the best part of the whole video, and I'm just going to pause this for a second so we can really look at this. In his hand, he's actually holding Warhammer Fantasy Battles movement trays. Dork Toys, please explain that to me. I don't really understand why you are selling a beginner of 40K movement trays. A good indicator as to what they're intended for are the grids that are marked out in the trays. If you look at that, you'll actually see that there are squares etched into those trays. Those squares are for the square bases that come with Fantasy. Perhaps this is an oversight. Perhaps you only play Fantasy and you assumed that 40K was going to follow the same rules. If that's the case, honest mistake. I completely understand. You know, and I'll move on and leave you alone on that point. But just for your own edification, and for those who aren't familiar with the hobby, who may be watching this video, you don't need movement trays for 40K. I don't know that anybody would tell you that you can't. Although I think, you know, your opponent might love it if you bunch all of your models together in a movement tray, and you know, and try to assault into them, or move across a battlefield that's using any kind of a template-based blast weapon. I mean, they would love you. You would be their best friend. As your grouped soldiers would be blown to smithereens. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So here he's telling us how, you know, movement trays make it so much nicer if you don't have to move each individual model. Okay. Now we get to a really great part. He holds up a 4th edition big green book. It's 4th edition, Dork Toys. Why does a beginner need that? Why? I'm going to pause it again here, because this is driving me crazy. Why would a beginner need that? Dork Toys, why does a beginner need a 4th edition rulebook? If this is a placeholder for the 5th edition, and you intended to grab the 5th edition, which came out 8 days ago now, I think it is, then I understand that. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. This just really upset me, because, you know, it seems like you're gearing this toward the beginner, and it doesn't seem right. Moving on. He's talking about the fact that there's a mini rule book in the box, and he says, oh, well, that's only 20 pages, and you know, here's the book you need. It's the 4th edition, or it isn't. He actually, forgive me, he doesn't say 4th edition. He says this is the rule book you need. Now he holds up the current codex, right? That is a current book, you're right. But only until, I guess, what is it, October? When they, supposedly they're slated to release the Space Marines, 5th edition. So here he talks about the Tyranid Codex, which of course, yes, that's current. And that's probably one of the only things so far that I would recommend someone buy as a beginner. And the boxes, both those boxes and both the Space Marine boxes were great. And the point of this is not to hurt this guy's business. That is not my intention. My intention is to forewarn beginners, people who are new to the hobby, people who may not know any better, and who may see this as a good deal, or who may assume incorrectly that this is the 5th edition set that this guy is selling. I can't speak for what his intentions are. I wouldn't even try. All I know is what it looks like to me. And let me offer again, this is my opinion. This is not intended to cause him harm or to in any way besmirch his name or his character. What I am saying is it seems a bit negligent to me to create a video like this geared toward beginners, which shows them outdated materials. If you really care about the community and you care about the people who are trying to get into the hobby, this is really not the way to do it. If you got a bunch of extra stock and you want to dump it or you want to get rid of it, sell it to people who know what it is. Sell it to people who may want it. I mean, there are people out there who are interested in picking up an older edition of the rules. There are people who are still going to play it, who, just don't want to play 5th edition or just don't like it. I mean, those guys, yeah, it'd be great because they know what they're getting into. They know what they're buying. For some kid who's, talking to his parents and saying, hey, I found a great deal online. It's a great starter set. That poor kid's going to show up at the game shop, having learned 4th edition or spent the time with that, and he's going to find out that he's behind, and now he's going to have to pay, however much to get the latest rules. More than likely going to turn the kid off to the hobby, or whoever. So, caring about the community like I do, caring about the people who are part of it, and especially caring about the people who don't know anything about it and who are coming into it. I mean, those are people that really are going to bring new life into the community, not those of us who've been in it forever. It's the people who are new to it, who are coming in saying, yeah, hey, this looks great, I want to try it. And to see something that looks like it may be taking advantage of them really upsets me. So I've said my piece. I'll stop my rant. I appreciate you guys listening to me. Thanks.